Hi, fellow sales professionals. Today, I would like to talk to you about one great way we have to quickly build an atmosphere of trust and a better relationship with people that we meet for the first time abroad. And that is to try to speak their language, if even a little. For sure, this is going to sound very counterintuitive to a lot of you. People have feared to engage into any pleasantries, any meaningful exchange in a foreign language because they feared rejection. They fear that if they mispronounce a word, then they are going to be seen as less intelligent by their counterpart. Maybe that they are going to end up insulting the counterpart, or maybe that they actually speak quite decently the foreign language, but they fear that they are going to be put somehow at a disadvantage if they speak it, because truth be told, the natives speak much better than they do. I went online, I performed my own research, tried to see if there's actually any validity to these claims. I didn't find anything, so unfortunately, I can only speak about my own experience, and it cannot be more different than this. Actually, I boiled it down to a few points. First, it's considered polite in many cases to try, at least try to say a few nice words into somebody else's language. And it's not that difficult to understand. What would happen if you're in your home office and then suddenly somebody comes in and starts speaking a tongue that you may know, but it's not your own, and it's kind of unexpected? That would probably be awkward. Now, English is different because when you're not a local, people do expect you to speak English when you go abroad. Still, if you surprise them by saying a few well chosen words into their own language, they do appreciate it a lot. Now, truth be told, you're speaking to somebody that speaks four different languages. Three of them I speak fluently, and one of these is Chinese. With the kind of face I have, as you can imagine, it surprises them, but pleasantly. People actually, I saw many times, it's almost magic. People will be looking at me like, oh man, I have to speak English now. That's going to be tough. And then suddenly they realize, like, oh, he speaks Chinese. And then you can literally hear tension evaporating. Literally. It's really amazing sometimes. Now, of course, if you can do it, please go ahead and do it. At the same time, let's be realistic here. Learning a language is difficult. So this is not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about along the lines of what I do in Korea. I do speak some Korean, but not that much. A few words, a few sentences. You know what? When I start speaking it with people I meet for the first time, I say, 안녕하세요. Hi, how are you? 감사합니다. Thank you. Those kind of things. They do appreciate it a lot because I'm under no obligation whatsoever to do it. And the way they think about it is like, wow, he's not obligated, but he still chooses to pay attention to my culture. And he wants my business so much that he's ready to actually study a little bit just for me or just for us. That's counted like a good point. Now, the second point I would like to make about that is related. It's all about perception, right? And it's all about putting yourself into your counterpart's shoes. Think about it. That counterpart is not a native English speaker necessarily, and then maybe that he or she feels kind of intimidated by the very fact of speaking English. Maybe he or she is not comfortable. So our job as sales professionals is to create an atmosphere of trust and create connections, right? What better way to just try to expose ourselves a little bit and break the ice this way by uh, saying a few nice words, or at least try, into the other person's language. That's actually working for me quite well, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. But people will still object. They will say, well, what about if I say something wrong? Yes. What about if you say something wrong? Do you really think that people are going to mind? Sure, maybe that you're going to end up saying something horrible. Sometimes that happens. And you know what? They understand. Unless you fall onto somebody that is really a stickler, and there are not that many of them out there, people in general are going to say, you know what? Steve didn't know. He didn't know what he was saying. I got it. I understand. And you're going to just ignore it. Or they may choose to laugh a little bit about it and laugh with you. Because you know what? Humor, it's another great way to diffuse tension, isn't it? And if you're not worth a laughter, as we say back home, you're not worth much. So how about you just laugh it out? And take it from somebody whose English is not the first language. If you say anything to me in my own language when I'm at home, I appreciate it. It doesn't matter how bad you pronounce it. Trust me on that. But maybe it doesn't match your experience. Feel free to react positively or otherwise in comments. In the future, maybe I do a few more of these on that general topic of intercultural relationships and how it affects sales. But in the meantime, this is Steve talking to you from my tree house. No, I'm just kidding. It's just my deck. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye bye.